Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack the code on one of the most iconic casino games out there, Roulette. And hey, by the end of this, you'll understand the language of that table like a total pro. You know, when you first look at it, the spinning wheel, that sea of numbers, all those different chips, it can seem pretty intimidating. But here's the secret. The entire game is built on just a few simple, really elegant ideas.
And that's pretty much it. The core concept is that simple. You're just trying to predict the outcome of a single spin. Where's that little white ball going to land? Everything else is just a fun variation on that one fundamental question.
Okay, so let's dive right in. To really get the language of roulette, we have to start with the most basic element there is, the board itself.
So let's decode those numbers, because they are the true foundation of the game. The whole structure of the board is where all the potential outcomes live.
What's so cool about this layout is that it shows you the entire universe of possibilities for a single spin. Every single little pocket that ball can land in is laid out for you right here in this grid.
So let's break it down. You've got the numbers 1 through 36, and they're split between red and black. And then you've got those two green spaces, the 0 and the 00. People often call these the house numbers, and they're really what gives the casino its edge. All these numbers and colors, they're the fundamental things you'll be betting on.
All right, this is where the game gets really, really easy. Let's talk about the simplest bets you can make, which are basically like coin flips. They give you almost a 50-50 chance of winning.
The absolute easiest, most straightforward bet you can make is just choosing a color. Is the ball going to land on a red number or a black number? That's it. Simple choice.
And just like betting on a color, you can also bet on the type of number that's going to pop up. Will it be an even number, like 2, 4, or 6? Or is it going to be odd, like 1, 3, or 5? It's another one of those simple binary choices.
So let's just test that idea out. Think about the number 17. Pretty simple, right? It's an odd number, so if you had a bet on odd and that ball landed on 17, hey, you'd be a winner.
And the last of these simple bets is splitting the board right down the middle, numerically speaking. You can bet on the low numbers, which is everything from 1 through 18, or you can bet on the high numbers, 19 all the way up to 36.
Okay, so using that rule we just talked about, where would the number 25 fall? Well, it's definitely bigger than 18, so it lands squarely in that high category. See? Once you get the basics down, it's all pretty clear.
Now, beyond those almost 50-50 bets, you can also bet on bigger groups of numbers. It's kind of like slicing up the pie in a different way, which of course gives you a whole different set of odds. This slide shows it perfectly. The layout itself practically tells you other ways you can bet. Notice how the numbers 1 through 36 aren't just split into high and low, they're also naturally chunked into 3 separate groups.
And these are called the dozens. You can bet on the first dozen, which covers numbers 1 to 12, or the second dozen, which is 13 to 24, or, you guessed it, the third dozen, which covers 25 through 36.
Now for the really fun part. What do you actually get if your number or your color or your group hits? This is all about risk and reward.
So here's the crucial idea, and it's a simple relationship. The lower your chances are of winning, the higher your payout is going to be. A real long shot pays big, while a safer bet, well, it pays a lot smaller.
This chart just lays it all out perfectly. Just look at the huge difference in the payout between betting on a single number versus one of those broader, nearly 50-50 bets like red or black.
So betting on a single number, that's the ultimate long shot. I mean, you're picking just one number out of 38 possibilities on the wheel. But if you hit it, wow, the payout is a massive 35 to 1. So your $1 bet would suddenly win you $35 back. On the other hand, a bet on something like red or black, or even versus odd, that's way more likely to hit. And because of that, it pays 1 to 1. This is what people call even money. You simply double your bet if you win.
So, we've broken down the numbers, the bets, the payouts, but what's the real takeaway from a game like roulette? What does it all come down to?
You know, this quote from a professional dealer school says it all. At its heart, roulette is not a game of skill. It's not like poker or chess. Every single spin is totally independent of the last one. It's just a game of pure, unfiltered chance.
And that brings us to a final, fascinating question, doesn't it? If it's all just random luck, why has this simple spinning wheel captivated us for hundreds of years?
Well, maybe it's because for those few seconds, while that little ball is bouncing around, the math of probability just kind of goes away. Anything seems possible, and it's that thrilling moment of pure hope right before reality sets in that keeps us coming back to the wheel.